Help me ducks, happy Friday, as they say, whoever they are. It's been a few days, maybe a week since I last did a video. It's very, very busy on the run up to Christmas, the run up to the end of the term, and also the run up to me going away. So trying to cram everything in and get everything sorted out has just taken up so much time. But anyway, it's the end of the week. I have a cuppa, gosh, getting condensation from the cup everywhere. I have a cuppa, which is welcomed. I just got in from work. I lit some candles, some incense, and I thought we'd have a look at this package that has been sent from Cheryl at Oneness Emporium. I have no idea what is in this package. Could it be a tarot deck? Could it be an oracle deck? It could even be a book. I just don't know. So Cheryl will often send these as a surprise and just send me a message saying there's something on its way. So, looking here, we've got our usual little envelope. It's got Merry Christmas on the back, which is lovely. And then we have the Merry Christmas card. The new sigil for the Witch's Runes, which is the eye, and some writing on the back about it. And then we have a Rainbow Brain Skull oracle card, which I love receiving these ones because they're so individual, each card, and unique. So let's see what our message is. I love control. Wish I had some. Oh my gosh, that's exactly how I'm feeling right now. I think I am barely in control, but I'm also paranoid that I'm forgetting something or something needs to be done, and I'm overlooking it. I'm even having anxiety dreams about it, but hey ho, you're not here to hear that. So it's something quite compact. I love this paper, tissue paper. I've been saving it and I've got quite a build up now of tissue paper. So let's see what we've got. We have Find Your Magic Tarot. Why does that sound familiar? Find Your Magic Tarot. 78 cards and guidebook. US Games. I wonder if there was a Find Your Magic oracle deck. I seem to remember about 2017. Or it was worded very similar. Or it could be that this was very modern. It could be that this was an independently produced deck and US Games has picked it up. But anyway, it looks cool. So I'm going to open this up, turn this around. Look, we're in the Christmas spirit. I've dug out, I finished, well, I'll say finished for this year, the autumnal one that I've been using. These are spread cloths by my lovely friend, my big sis, Giselle from Mad Witch. And this is what she did for me last year with this little tree. We've got the snowman, the Mad Witch here with her gifts. So it's very winter Christmassy. I love the greens and the blues together. So I'm going to turn it over just so we've got a more of a neutral background. And we'll have a look at this deck. And US Games just recently for their decks have just been of the utmost quality, and I'm sure this will be the same. Let's bring the camera down and we'll have a close-up look. All right, so it's in this nice compact box. It's unusual. It's a tray one. You don't often see that with US Games, but it's nice. It's very easy to open. That just glides in and out. It's quite satisfying, actually. Okay, so the font is a little bit little. Magic is everywhere and shows up anywhere you find a tiny stroke of good luck or an inexplicable miracle, like a flower blooming out of season. This modern, diverse deck was created to help you recognize the magic all around you and within you. It invites you to explore hidden synchronicities and mystical manifestations that occur in your daily life. Tap into the potential of your inner world and rediscover your own sense of wonder as you interpret tarot wisdom shared by vagabonds and kings, witches and wayfarers. It includes 78 cards and a 128-page full-colour illustrated guidebook. It kind of reminds me of, it's gone out of my head, This Might Hurt, that sort of artwork. It's lovely. It's got metallic gold stamping. It's got a gloss, as you can see here, on matte. Really nice, good quality and sturdy. So we'll take it out the tray. You can see this is it's yellow on the inside. Very sturdy box. Very sturdy. And then we've got the tray here, which houses the book and the deck. Have we got a box within a box? We do. We have a tuck box within the tray. So again, you can, if you wanted less space, needed more space, so popping this on the shelf is an option as well. Quite a chunky book. Did it say 128 page? Yeah, 128 page. That seems to be the magic number with little accompanying books. I seem to read that quite a lot reviewing decks, 128 page colour book. Anyway, that's just an observation. Table of contents. So we have a deck to rediscover the magic. So that's 6 pages. The major arcana, the minor arcana, and then 115 to the end, which is 128. Reading, interpreting the magical tarot cards. So a glimpse at the type of illustration, the artwork. So a write-up about the deck. Magic is within you. The only thing I will say is the font is quite small. It probably looks a lot larger, but the camera is quite low down. But from where I'm sitting, it's really difficult to read. Yeah, it's quite small. But anyway, if it follows an RWS, like the Lovers, if it follows the RWS, then that's an interesting devil card. Oh, we get a smaller amount. So we get a full page illustration for the majors, thumbnails for the minors. But what I was going to say on the third attempt, if it follows the RWS, I probably won't use this book anyway. I love this. This is, look at that for the Four of Swords. Very modern take. So yeah, so little white books, if they follow an RWS, I tend to read the introduction parts, but I don't read the card definitions because unless the book is explaining and describing the scene that's being depicted and what the artist's take on that particular archetype is. All right, so the problem with tuck boxes, that was quite easy actually. I mean, that's unusual for US games. No cutout or anything, so the only way you can get that out is by... Oh, and the glossy. Okay. If somebody passed me this deck and said, who do you think the publisher is? I think I would have said US Games last, because this is not a typical US Games deck at all, with a glossy, quite thick glossy cardstock. I mean, the artwork's beautiful, but I would have probably chosen something probably like Red Feather, Schiffer as the or even Hay House. Yeah, but US Games. But anyway, you can see it's already, you know, when you touch it, you get in fingerprints and things. That's the only issue with gloss. But I like the backs. I like the two-tone purple and the design. So it's obviously reversible. They feel like they're large cards, so I'm just going to grab the obligatory. This is a usual US Games card size, and yeah, it is quite a bit bigger in size, both, you know, length and width. Okay, so cardstock is thick as well. It's a thick cardstock, which you do usually find with heavy gloss decks like this, but you can see it's quite a chunky. So just those fingerprints, and I have dry skin, so it's not like I've got oily skin, but anyway, I'm also under a light for filming, so that might not show up. So here we have our fool walking the tightrope above a city scene. Got a little cat being balanced by it looks like shopping, actually, been shopping. Looks like there's a baguette there and some flowers. And she's wearing a witch's hat that matches a jacket. I like that. Not a traditional black witch's hat, but here we have a witch. Yeah, this is kind of like a cross between This Might Hurt, Everyday Witch, and a little bit of Fifth Spirit. is the vibe I'm picking up. Here's our magician. Just trying to have a look at what she's looking at. Oh, it's a card. It looks like she's looking at the star card from the RWS. Don't know if that's me, but I see the star card, which would be interesting if that is the case. So I'm going to have a look at the book and let's see if it does describe the scene. Where are we? So we have the magician. Might need my magnifying glass. The magician is energy, motivation, and inspiration. Oh, it's a he. He tends towards perfectionism, and his will is what spurs him on towards knowledge and study aimed at getting results. His eclectic personality means he has plenty of interests. His yearning for knowledge is impeccable, but at times he can prove risky. Sorry, I'm really struggling. The hunger can push him to being haphazard and feeling lost along the way. The magician's character expresses a nature of the eternal student, aware that magic is in the world, and it's I'm really struggling. And all its manifestations. As magic is everything, it falls within his field of study and in this infinite road toward knowledge. He disciplines himself strictly, even to the detriment of his own health. The awareness of the multiplicity of the universe accentuates curiosity and a desire for knowledge, but you need to focus on yourself and your aptitudes so you do not get lost along the way. Yeah, so it doesn't describe the scene really, not for that card anyway, but yeah, the font, that's my only gripe, particularly here because it's on like a coloured background and it doesn't feel like the font is black, it feels like it's a grey, so it makes it really difficult to read, but it's fine. Like I say, I'll probably read the introduction, but I won't read all the card meanings, because for me the magician is the magician, and if I'm reading these cards I'll know how to interpret that. I just wondered if it gave you the details, like in the right hand is, in the left hand is, you know how sometimes you get that, but it doesn't. The High Priestess, we've got B and J for the black and white pillars of Solomon's Temple. The Empress won a prize for growing a huge pumpkin. The Emperor, with his cats. He's got a little lint brush. He's wearing he's a sharp dresser. I love the addition of the witch's hat. I like to see witch's hats on males as well. The Hierophant, lots of hats. Wearing lots of hats. I've got these kind of ethereal hands reaching in as well with lots of gifts. The Lovers, I saw this in the book and I thought it was a really nice Lovers. I love the moon as a light, a night light. And then we've got like a cluster, a crystal cluster there. And we have 2 females in our Lovers card. I'm all for that, but I think if we're going to have 2 females, then we should have additional cards to switch around. You know, I think if you're going to have a same-sex couple, then put 2 same-sex couples in, and also, you know, a depiction of heterosexual couples. I'd like that as an option. The Chariot. Strength is at 8. I love this little sprite or fairy here on his head. He's got, oh, that is really cute. I'm not sure what this is with the paw. Maybe it's just a big soft toy. The Hermit. It's like in a little camper van or something. For the takeaway. The Wheel of Fortune. This is a strange depiction. I saw it in the book and I remember thinking, I'll look closer at that when... I mean, it's a rider on a bike. And I don't know if it's smoke or water or whether it's spirit. And I'm not sure why it's the Wheel of Fortune. And again, I'm not sure if the book will say, but we'll have another look. And then I will stop reading for the book unless I'm really stuck on something. And I'm going to get my magnifying glass this time. The beginning and end of cycles continue in rapid succession. I think this is going to be generic again. Everything is ready to turn on a dime, chaotically and unpredictably. Events happen, seasons pass, and unavoidable destiny arrives. Those who ride the wheel are able centaurs, capable of quickly walking the path of fate and taking unknown turns. Fearless and aware of the transience of life, they are constantly on the move and know that the end of the road is not really the end, merely a new beginning. Karma has been set in motion and the energies are working in a perpetual movement that leads to a fortuitous route. Yeah, that's disappointing. It's more or less that could appear in any deck describing what the Wheel of Fortune represents. I do think they've missed a trick. What they could have put here is, you know, a detailed description of the image and what we're seeing and why we're seeing it, but oh well. Justice. And we have the Hanged Man. And I think it's a female. Death. Okay, so I think I see what's happening here. I think she's actually in the process of being electrocuted. There's a bowl of it's you know, a sink. There's a tap, there's toothbrushes, there's the bowl, and then she's touching just the side And there is electrics because there's a light, and she's been electrocuted. Again, if the book doesn't, it just gives you a generic. Talking about fate, radical changes, exceptional rediscoveries and loss. Death can scare you. People linked to the death card aim to have it. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm going to stop looking. It doesn't describe any of the scenes. Temperance. The devil. Now, that's interesting. We've got these torches here. There's people naked on a beach. And then this kind of reminds me of what's in the Sistine Chapel. I forget what it's called. Is it the Spark of Life or something like that? The Tower. I'm not quite sure why she'd stack them that high, but obviously expecting a lot of sales. There's a hand here, I've just realised as well, reaching for them, but it's going to take it from the middle and they'll all come toppling down. The Star. Oh, the moon is nice. I do like that image. That's really nice. The 3 generations there. And the sun on a broomstick. Looks like a prosthetic as well. Don't often see disabilities depicted in decks, but kudos when it does, and people with disabilities are included. Judgment. Look at the kind of bat wings on the back. About to go on. This is it a concert about to perform? Yeah, looks like holding a guitar. Judged on their performance. A crowd is very much a judgment, isn't it? The world. Oh, that's a bit odd. It's like, oh, I think it's through water. This is probably a bathtub, I think. So I was like, there's nothing in the middle, but I think this purple is water, because the arms, the elbows go under the surface and come out for the hands. So, and then we go into our minors. So I'll go a bit quicker through the minors. She's cutting her hair there at Ace of Swords. 2. Yeah, kind of what we saw. So I mentioned in time when I was looking at the book, how I like this interpretation of the 4 of Swords, and you can see the water is the same colour. So yeah, that's what's happening. That confirms that. These little beings, otherworldly beings, also give me kind of a nod to Everyday Enchantment by Poppy Palin. I love that he's got cucumbers on his eyes. Oh, there's another little fairy there. Oh, lots of bath scenes. Which is interesting for the sword suit, isn't it? And is it the same person a few moments later? Six. Oh, got to pop it with the pins ready. Oh my gosh, what is this? Someone curled into a fetal position. You can see it better from that angle, but we're looking at it from that angle. That's quite a confusing image. Oh, look at those fingers pointing. A Ouija board. The planchette is there. Bringing in these spirits. He's asleep. Totally brilliant. If it is a he, they are asleep. Totally oblivious to what's happening here. Interesting 9 of Swords. Quite like it. The 10. So lots of beds and baths in the Swords. The Page. The Knight. Riding a Griffin. Queen. And King. And again, we have disabilities represented here, and age, which is great. Not quite sure why there's a teapot mid-air. Then we have our Pentacles. Love Pentacles. The roll of the dice. The 3. 4. That's the pumpkin. Five of Pentacles. Interesting take. 6. 7. I like the perspective. I like looking from behind at that. 9. Little toadstools. 10. And then we have our courts for the Pentacles. That's interesting, I like that. I went to see Wicked last week. It reminds me when Galinda and Elphaba were chasing after the train to go to Oz. Queen and King. I like that as the King, you know, teaching, passing down the knowledge. And the Centaur there. Cups. Female couple again for the 2. And then our final suit is the Wands. We have our Ace. Love this. Love his little slippers. Oh, that's interesting. Sometimes you have to really look at the image to try and work out what you're seeing. Oh, we've got fencing. That's a very Wands fire energy, isn't it? And that. And our King. So, there we have it. The Find Your Magic tarot deck. So I'll share my pros and cons, pluses and negatives, etc. We'll start with the positives. The artwork, I really like the artwork. I think he's a very talented artist. It's very modern. It's fun in parts and serious in others. The colours are lovely. It's quite emotive, particularly when you see images like that. So it's great. And for a modern tarot deck, it's got good representation, and not just for ethnicities, but also for body types, ages, disabilities, which is something you hardly ever see in tarot decks, or seldom see, sexual orientations, etc. And lots of female representation as well. The downsides for me is the glossy cardstock. It seems out of character for US games, and you know, I just find with glossy cardstock the fingerprints, you just, I don't know, this could have been done in a beautiful linen or a nice matte cardstock, which we're used to seeing from US games. The other downside for me is some of the artwork in this deck challenges my what I'm used to for an RWS deck, and I wouldn't even, this follows an RWS system, but I wouldn't say it was a straight up RWS clone. It's not. It does its own thing. But some of the images, I really want to know what the both the author and the creator was trying to get across with the images, how they wanted to represent that archetype, and a description of the scene would have been really beneficial. And I love it when that happens with a deck. This one in particular, I don't get it as a Wheel of Fortune. Is this... I just don't get it. Yeah, and then when you read the book, it's quite generic, giving you interpretations. You know, this could have been described in the book. So I will use it. I think it's a great modern deck. That confuses me. A few of the images really demand your attention, and that's not a bad thing, to sit with an image, and sometimes you see things that you haven't seen before, or it makes you think about, okay, so why for the Nine of Pentacles, where we're used to seeing somebody in, you know, a beautiful garden with a bird, and why is she holding a toadstool? Why are the toadstools inside her house? You know, I just want to know more. And this feels like images from a storybook. And so therefore I wish that the book was also written like a storybook, describing the scenes that we see in the cards. So I do think there's an opportunity missed there. The deck does feel good quality, even though, you know, I'm not a fan of huge glossy cards. It does feel good quality, particularly this is like cardboard, like, you know, hardboard. It's solid. It's going to be protected well. I don't think we needed the tuck box. I don't think it adds anything. But maybe people don't want to be taking around a chunky box when they could just have it in this and throw it in the bag. Anyway, that's my views on this deck, Find Your Magic Tarot. It's written by Guilia Manzi, and illustration is Sarah Rotlich. The other downside was the font. Very, very difficult. But for young eyes, which I'm sure this deck is aimed at, I don't think they'd have the problems that I have anyway. But let me know if you've got this deck. I've heard of Find Your Magic before, but I think it might have been an oracle. But if it was an indie deck, let me know. And you may have had it for a few years now. But let me know your thoughts on this deck in general. Do you agree with me on the points that I've made, or do you have completely different views and take on it? You know, as long as the discussion is always appropriate in the comments, then I'm always happy to hear other people's views. I will be back tomorrow. I am very fortunate to have Scylla Conway joining me, the fantastic Scylla Conway, who is the creator of one of my all-time favourite tarot decks. Can I just put that in there as well, the Shimmering Veil, as well as, you know, Days of Creation and many other decks. So hopefully you'll be able to join me tomorrow night at 7 for that. It promises to be very interesting because Scylla is very interesting. All right, have a fantastic end of your week, everyone. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be. Before you go, I wanted to mention very quickly as well that the Hermit's 10 code is back in operation. Didn't use it through the period of Black Friday up until Monday the 2nd just gone. So because you could get 15% off automatically when ordering from Oneness Emporium. So if you do want this deck or any other deck that's not on promotion, then use the code HERMITS10 at the bottom for 10% off. All right, see you tomorrow.